for today's face-off on Fox Soul. Challengers Quan LX and Big Angry Adams, ready to go blow by blow on those hot topics. Face-off on Fox Soul starts right now.
This is Los Angeles. Everything is gone. Look at this. This is our deodorants, I think. This place is going, I mean, this looks like it's been looted, and I guess thieves just come in and take whatever's expensive and just walk out with it. This is crazy. This is unrecognizable. When I moved to Los Angeles, you'd come into Rite Aid, you'd spend the afternoon looking around. This is so sad.
In this round, here's Charles Big Angry Adams.
Now that was Bert Kreischer, a comedian who is famously the Van Wilder character from the Van Wilder movie. Obviously, he didn't play the character, but the screenplay, it was written by him, and it was about his life. He is now an older comedian, a family man, and he is walking around a Rite Aid talking about, look, there's nothing here. This is crazy. Crime is out of control. Now, there's people that are pushing back on that, saying, actually, Rite Aid is closing stores and they're not restocking them. That's why it's so bad. But when it comes down to it, fundamentally, Rite Aid is only closing stores because just like Walgreens abandoned San Francisco, and you have a number, you have Walmart abandoned Chicago, it's because theft, unchecked property crime has led to businesses not being viable. And of course, it only makes the news when it's a natural chain, when it's a corporatist culture of America. But when you look at little mom and pop stores that can't fade the heat, and there's this lie that you see on like TikTok, oh, we don't steal from the neighborhood stores, especially if they're owned by the right people. But of course, that's not true at all, right? We have seen endemic property crime where the corporate big box stores can at least afford security guards and to do things and to fade it and the insurance coverage, but little mom and pop stores are just dying out. And people are being left, especially in poor communities of color in urban areas, with stores that charge so much more that people can't afford it. You have pharmaceutical deserts, you have food deserts, you have retail deserts, all because of unchecked crime. And it's only going to get worse. And then you talk, and I'll be done in a second, big banks are threatened. Well, their solvency is threatened by the fact that, like in places like Los Angeles downtown, the skyscrapers are empty, that people are not returning to the office space. And they say, oh, it's all COVID, they never came back, remote work. But the truth is, nowadays, people are terrified to walk from your parking garage to your car in downtown LA. They're terrified to leave anything. They have to have all this security because we have allowed crime to get out of control under the auspices of restorative justice and community activism, abolish the police,
Charles,
abolish
you have
prisons.
been on your
It's nonsense.
soapbox now
Put people in jail for stealing crap,
for
Quanell.
several minutes straight,
Okay,
and you
yeah, come
want
on.
the American public to believe that these store shelves are looking like this strictly because of crime. I believe that inflation is out of control and
Because
has
of
played a
crime.
role
And-
in this.
and Democrat
And
spending.
I also believe that it is true that a lot of shoplifting is out of control. It's unchecked. And so many of these stores are realizing it costs more to just open the doors than what we're making in goods and products that we're selling. But some of these goods and products are so expensive, the majority of the people who are living there cannot even afford those products.
That's not true about
and
Rite
so
Aid.
some of these stores are exiting using the auspices of crime when they really just won't be honest and say, hey, look, inflation has us to where we're not making any money because our customers cannot afford to buy these products. But I agree with you in one sense, Charles. When you go into these stores now, even in Texas, some of these stores, it looks nothing like I remember 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 7 years ago. I remember, Charles, about 7 years ago, I held a press conference about why was bulletproof glass in the banks in the black community, but when you went to white neighborhoods, the tellers were strictly tellers, no bulletproof glass, etc. But every bank in the black community was installing bulletproof glass. Now, so many of these banks you go to, no matter where you are, bulletproof glass is everywhere. Reminds you of old cheap check cashing places. Crime is a real problem in this nation. Inflation is a real crime, is a real problem in this nation. But Charles, poverty breeds criminal activity. It breeds criminal behavior. And the higher the inflation rates go, the more people are going to steal to survive. Have you saw the price of a gallon of milk?
Oh, okay.
Have you saw the price of a gallon of milk?
Okay.
Have you saw the price of
Alexandria
beef?
Ocasio-Cortez
Have you
across
seen
the table from me.
Of
People are
Charles?
they're just stealing so they can feed their kids.
Charles, a gallon of milk, Charles,
that
in
narrative
some places
has
is
been
$6.
proven false.
Almost
right?
$7,
The
Charles.
truth is, people are stealing because they know they can get away with it. Thieves are actually opening up resale businesses on Amazon.
A
on
lot
street
of them
corners.
are doing
They
that.
got-
But there are some who are shoplifting, Charles, just to eat.
Okay, but they're the exception,
Because
not the
inflation's
rule.
got the damn
They're
prices
the
so high,
exception,
they can't
not
afford
the
gas
rule.
and food at the same
No,
time.
well, why do we have inflation? We have inflation because our government spends way too much money, especially on itself and its own bureaucrats, and no one's talking about austerity. No one's talking about, hey, instead of paying all these bureaucrats these billions, 70% of the welfare dollars goes to the government employees that run welfare. They could take all that money
And that's
and
a
just do
damn
universal
shame.
basic income
And that's a
write
damn
everybody
shame.
a check.
And that's
but
a
of course,
damn
you don't want
shame.
everybody getting a check because you don't want Whitey
No.
getting a check.
In
But
that
hold on,
case,
hold on,
in
hold
that
on,
case, that's
hold
a
on.
different discussion.
Hold on. But the truth is, these businesses, what has changed in the last 10 years is not arresting people for shoplifting. Cops don't show up. Cops don't come out, and when they do, they don't put handcuffs on people, and you need to go
Charles,
back to arresting thieves
before
for stealing.
COVID,
Because you
before
know who it's
COVID,
stealing
Charles.
from? It's stealing from me, stealing
Charles,
from you,
I
and
remember-
people that get up, go to
Charles,
work, and pay their
I
bills
remember
are paying
a gallon-
more to cover the
A
thieves.
gallon of orange juice in HEB here in Texas before COVID was like $2.39. Charles, you can go to the stores now. It's double that, Charles, since COVID.
Well, and there's no mistake.
And they're lying and blaming COVID
Well,
for the reason why these
hey,
food prices are
hey.
still so high. Charles, have you saw the price of lettuce?
Make
Have you
no
saw the price
mistake.
of a gallon of milk, the
Well,
price
now,
of cheese?
make no
it's out of
mistake.
control. Poor working class families cannot afford to give their children
Okay.
lunch money, pay for gas in the car, and put food on the table because inflation has the damn food prices too high.
Well, I don't, clearly, corporate America, like Tyson Chicken, corporate America has exploited the COVID situation to justify skyrocketing prices. But when you look, like he's in California, when you look in California and you got to pay every kid that's making a burrito at Chipotle $20 an hour, the Panera being the only one excused because Newsom, the governor, is friends with the guy that knows, it makes it economically unviable. But what you don't hear about California is how many small mom and pop fast food places, not chains,
Are shutting
have been
down.
shutting down, right? Their lives destroyed. We need to get back.
but we got all these billions
right.
for Ukraine.
But how about this? How about let's just make cops police again, period.
In this round, here's Quanell X.
Charles, there appears to be a little uproar, not even a little, but a big one, surrounding an African-American commentator, pretty famous brother, Roland Martin from Houston, Texas. Used to be a CNN co-host of his own show on CNN and News One, TV One, that's owned by, I believe, Sister Kathy Hughes. Now he has his own podcast show, and he was discussing a segment about Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump alleging that she's only pretending to be black when necessary. Well, allegedly between segments, he was caught watching gay male sex. And there's always been rumors by those who are just nosy as hell about whether he was gay, his sexuality, his mannerisms, etc. But now that he's been caught watching gay male sex between segments, all I can say is, damn. I mean, you know, brother, if this is true, that while you're working at the job, you're being entertained by some brothers playing with the ruler and the tutor. Something's wrong here, man. I mean, that's totally unacceptable. And watching two grown, burly men hook up and stroke up, I ain't with it at all, brother.
Yeah, Quanell, I don't know if this is a case of he doth protest too much, but you seem to come up and conjure up these stories quite a bit. I did not see, we just watched this video together. You sent me this video earlier. I saw what appeared to be a naked African-American man walking down a hallway. I didn't see any gay sex. He could have been walking to a woman. I don't know what kind of porn you consume, Quanell.
No, that
but
was
it
another
seems
part
like
that was seen also.
Okay. So it was two men?
And so in that part, it was two men.
Okay, but who
Two
cares?
burly,
Why do we
big
care?
old
I mean,
brothers.
so we have the white
grown
the
men
white
who look
pundit.
like they should be playing middle linebacker for somebody's football
we
program.
had the white CNN pundit Jeffrey Toobin, who literally got caught masturbating on a Zoom meeting, right? He lost his job for like 8 or 9 months, and then CNN brought him back. He was literally slapping the salami. Can I say that, Matt? I don't know what euphemisms I can use for the old rub and tuggle.
I think you know the euphemisms.
But he was doing some rub tuggery on his own little tugboat.
And they brought this freak back on the
Well, they brought him back on there.
this.
But you also, it seems like you're only interested in the story because, so if it was straight sex porn, would you be okay with it? You wouldn't care?
No, I would have a problem with that too.
Okay, but he's doing his own podcast, right? He's doing his own show. He
Why
made a
in the hell
mistake.
you watching porn while you at work?
Well, I mean, people consume porn.
Unless the porn industry is your career and your field of work, that's a different discussion. But if you at work and you're servicing the interests and needs and providing information, informing the public viewers,
hold on.
why would you be watching porn during that time?
Hold on. So,
And especially,
hold on,
why would you be a man
hold on.
watching two butt-naked men hook up and stroke
there
up?
are gay people.
I ain't with that.
I know you're not with it.
No, I'm not
I mean,
with
I
it.
kind of think you might be with it as much as you
Hell
want to
no,
talk
I'm not
about
with
it.
it.
But let's say you're
I'm a
not.
Muslim.
Okay, but
We have
there are
rules
tons
about
of
that.
gays, but there are millions of gay Muslims
No,
too.
that's a damn lie.
That's not a lie.
Ain't no such thing about a million of gay
you sound
Muslims.
like.
Where are they?
You sound like.
We need to find them.
Okay, well, go to Afghanistan.
Where are they? We
And
need
why
to
don't you
locate
do, Why
them.
don't you do some research
Because
on
Prophet
the use
Muhammad,
of,
peace be
why
upon
don't you
him,
do some
gives us
research
specific
about the
instructions
use of
how
young
to deal with
boys for
such
sexual
male
partners
inappropriate behavior.
in Afghanistan? It's horrifying. It's
me ask you a question, Charles.
the work of horrible
Charles,
people.
As
But-
a gay advocate yourself,
But that's an attack.
and as a staunch advocate of the gay community, a proud spokesman that you are.
I'm not a spokesman for it, but I'm an advocate
you're
for
a
anyone
proud
that's been
spokesman.
oppressed.
You're a proud spokesman. And on this show, I have given you the platform. I've given you the
You
room.
gave me a platform?
Can I finish? I've given you the platform and the room to openly be who you
okay.
are.
Look,
To
I
portray
know
yourself as you
that
really
in
want
your
to be.
worldview.
And I know Bruce Jenner, Caitlyn Jenner, is one of your role
I get
models.
in your worldview, calling someone a homosexual is an insult, right?
No,
Hey, look,
Charles. It's an insult
it
when they
doesn't
won't
insult-
come out and
Okay.
admit it. That's
No,
an insult.
The truth is
the closet
that the
is no
people-
longer acceptable.
The people that
Come
were
on out.
forced, we talked about Rock Hudson earlier in the week. The people
And he
that were
was getting
forced,
rocked.
The people that were forced into the closet for decades. Remember,
Forced?
Elton John got married in the early 80s to a woman because they knew
They
their careers.
chose to stay in the closet. They weren't
It's
forced
because
in the
bigots
closet.
like you would destroy their career. And fortunately, since his reign, look, he was taking care. You said the term you used. He was taking care of his watchers' needs, right? He was servicing their needs by giving them information. Apparently, he was also servicing his own needs while doing the show. But
And
no one
that's
cares.
inappropriate. Sex
Okay.
on the job is inappropriate.
Okay, but no one cares, right? Like you would not be talking about this if it wasn't gay sex. You would find it amusing, because I've seen you find it amusing if it was heterosexual
Don't lie
sex.
on me.
No, I'm not lying on you.
I
The
don't
truth
find
is,
anything like that amusing.
we're only talking about this so you can push your agenda of homophobia, where who cares if this guy, I didn't know who this guy was before you
Charles,
pointed the story.
this
I
is
didn't know
my
he was from
agenda.
Houston.
When it
Who
comes to the gay
cares?
community, this is my
Who
agenda.
cares, Quad?
God said Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve.
Okay.
God said Adam and Eve, not Eve and Louise. So I'm on the Lord's side. I'm on God's side.
Well,
but we know what side you're standing
Here's
on.
the thing.
don't we?
If you were on the Lord, the New Testament Christian Lord side, you would know that you are required to be tolerant and caring
Respectful
and loving
of all. But you love what
embrace-
God loves and you hate what God hates.
Well, but God doesn't
and
hate
you accept
people.
what God accepts and you reject what God rejects.
Okay.
That's why
So-
Jesus said, love the sinner, but hate the
Okay,
sin.
But what did Jesus say about gays?
Oh, Jesus spoke about that.
All right, what did he say?
When he said that, think not that I come to do away with the law. Nay, I came to fulfill it. Not one iota of the law should be changed.
Oh.
So Jesus said the law of God
So he
and the
didn't-
law of
so he didn't
Moses
say
was
any-
not to be
so-
changed.
so he
Not
didn't-
one iota.
Okay, so he didn't say anything about it. In fact, if you look at the New
Oh, that's
Testament,
not true.
If you,
He said the
from
law of
beginning
Moses
to
is still
end-
the law of God.
Okay, so you're wearing silk, you're wearing cotton, you're wearing polyester, and you're wearing leather. I mean, Moses didn't want you doing that.
Well, you don't understand the context of it.
Okay, no, I don't.
The Bible's written in similes, metaphors,
Okay.
and parable and poetic language.
Well, yeah. It's all
You
about,
have to discern
unless it justifies
poetic
your
terminology
hatred and
to
your
come out with a
homophobia.
common sense
Hey,
understanding.
I don't care if this guy's gay. What a stupid story, Quanell.
Stroking while he's talking to the people.
In today's Face Off, up.
Morning. This is Rachel with Mount Simon Ministries. Yep, I am on my way to jail. Larimer County, 2307 Midpoint Drive, Fort Collins, Colorado, 80525. Corruption in the justice system is punishing me for protecting my children. So today I begin 7 weekends of jail in the Weekender jail program because I will not stop protecting my children and speaking out about the abuses that have happened to them that have now resulted in criminal charges against my former spouse. And they are 7 counts of felony sex assault on child by person in position of trust and misdemeanor child abuse, covering all 6 of my children.
All right, so our face-off bleep up of the day is either former Aurora, Colorado Police Sergeant Michael Hawkins or the judge in the court that her family law case is pending out there in Aurora, because this was Rachel Pickerel Hawkins driving herself while live streaming on TikTok, I believe, to jail to turn herself in for a weekend of jail where she's going to spend 7 weekends because she has refused to participate in family court-ordered reunification therapy for her 10 and 13-year-old sons with their father. Now, I have, as a criminal defense attorney, represented people falsely accused of child sexual assault, right? I would say the stats suggest that it's somewhere north of 94% are actual valid claims, and that most examples of child sexual assault go unreported, right, as opposed to falsely reported. But, well, I mean, there's a possibility that she contrived all this and she bullied all her children into lying, but there shouldn't be any sort of reunification until they have figured that out. And it's far more probable that this man was an abuser and a sex abuser and sex abused his children, and this woman who was living...
How?
Well, because the kids stated at home.
No,
well,
Charles,
hold on.
talk to any family court judge, any family court lawyers, and they will tell you in family court on a daily, weekly basis, there are women who lie on their exes every week about sexual assault allegations against their children to gain leverage in the family court system. He has not been charged.
Yes, he has been charged.
No, he wasn't charged.
Yes, he has been
He's
charged.
been accused. What I read, he was accused.
Well, maybe you should
What
do better
I
reading.
read, he was accused,
charged.
but not charged.
He's
Charles.
been charged.
If he's charged, then fine. He's the screw up, the F up of the day.
Okay.
But Charles, if he has not been charged, based on what I've read, my concern is, George, there are too many women who go into court all across America who, to win custody of their children, make these sexual assault allegations against fathers, and these fathers did not do a damn thing.
Okay, he has been charged.
It's not what I read.
And the allegations against him are sexual abuse of their 5-year-old daughter.
Allegations?
Sexual abuse. Well, until he's convicted, they're allegations. Sexual abuse of children that were adopted by him and holding his son's head underwater. Okay, but at the very least, there needs to be enough investigation, there needs to be enough digging into it before there is court-ordered reunification.
And it says it goes back 20 years.
And this
These
woman,
allegations go back 20 years.
Is willing,
and he allegedly raped all 6 kids.
This woman is willing to go to jail to fight for her kids. This guy's a scumbag.
If he really raped those kids, he should have no access to them.
Okay.
If he really raped them, it's an insult to justice
but
and
don't
to
you
any
think
all Americans.
They should figure it out before there's access.
To have reunification with the kids.
Don't you think we should figure it out before there's access? Not.
I will say this: he should have supervised visitation, Charles. supervised because he's innocent until proven guilty.
If a man
because I've seen these kind of lies, man, used against me, and there was no truth to it.
And I get it. That's why we have a criminal justice process.
So supervised visitation in the appropriate place at a police station. Let it be at a police station with supervised visits.
What did you blame kids if they believe that this man molested their sisters and abused them?
I don't blame the kids. Because children are often the victims of being coached by unscrupulous, unethical, wicked
You don't have no
parents.
evidence of that.
But guess what? We have no evidence yet that he's actually guilty, Charles.
That she fled the home and is living in a woman's shelter with her kids. She has been put in a desperate situation because she has been made aware of abuse of her children, and she's trying to protect her children.
Is he not innocent until proven guilty?
Okay, fine. But that's in the court of law. That's whether or not he goes to prison. I'm talking about whether or not the mother has to have.
So now you believe a family court judge who's heard all of this evidence, who's looked at everything,
I don't think he's heard all of the
would make
evidence.
a decision to reunify this man with his children.
I think we see family
and believe
courts
that this
jailing
believe
kids
this man
all
is
the
a threat.
time. And until it's determined whether he raped those kids, abused those kids or not,
there is
then
a
this woman is fighting for her children and good for her. And that's why the guy is the F up of the day.
There's a reason why the family court system is called the palace of perjury.
That's it for the Face Off on Fox Soul. We'll catch you next time.